Okay, so Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy Hanukkah and holidays and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. Okay, so got my Christmas presents here, which was the Trappist Rochefort pack with the glass. So this is the 8 Trappist Rochefort 8. So got this at what I believe will be a nice temperature to drink this at. So there's that, and wanted to get into doing a little more brewing this year because the prices of beer have gone way up on a lot of the stuff that I've been wanting to get, and so why not start trying to brew some real big fucking beers? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we got the pasta maker here, which is what a lot of all grain brewers are making a cheap and easy grain mill, which has been the lacking piece of my all grain puzzle, which I have been up to this point using a household blender and just throwing a little extra crystal malt in there. So if you have the same problem, don't let that stop you. Just blend it. Get yourself a Blend Tech blender and blend it, right? So not that I'm associated with them, but that's a good channel to watch too, because that's pretty cool shit. So you put your drill in here, do some stuff there to the rollers. We're gonna show the modification real easy. I'm gonna just do some modifications to these rollers to help pull the barley in using a Dremel and a drill bit. So let's try this beer, and just showing off the pack here because it's pretty cool. I've never really had one of these type of packs before, and I'm always, if you've ever watched the channel, you know I'm always short on glassware. So I've washed this glass previously to this and repacked this, made sure that it would open easy because this new packaging is a little bit hard to open on some of these things. Mega smoke. Here's the glass. It's a really cool glass, actually. So, actually, this stuff was pretty pricey, so at where I got it. So with the glass, it was 38 bucks for the 4 beers and the glass. So I hope this is phenomenal. It's smelling really good from here. Not too crazy, but he's a little bit more head on here, I guess. All right. So they designed that glass pretty well. All right. Let's see what we got for beer head on there. That's looking pretty good. There's the color here. It's mahogany, reddish brown. The head's slightly beige, I guess. Pulling out a nice slight citrus aroma. Not really getting a whole lot of big peppery Belgian smells here, so. I also not really done any beer aging, so to speak, so I think I'm gonna put some of these away and see how they evolve. So this is fresh. Not really picking up a whole lot of aroma. The head is really holding everything down. It's very tight and not much is coming through it. Very fresh, slight hoppy vibe coming out of there. Mild citrus, that's all. Well, it's pretty mellow, actually. This might be just a tad cooler than you may want to drink it, but it's better. Wow, it's really, like, sticky. And it's like the carbonation is exploding in my stomach and just, you know, like you're going to end up like that guy on Monty Python in Meaning of Life. Don't drink this too fast or you'll blow up. Don't drink too much of it or you'll be tossing your cookies on the cleaning lady. All right. Wow, it's just a carbonation explosion big time. The head is getting really, really creamy. On there, actually. Another light there. Looking to be almost like a nitro beer head. Oh, very much so. That is as dense as it gets. It's actually quite mild. There's a nice, a very nice maltiness, like a kind of like a dark fruit flavor, but it's very subtle and subdued. Um, the maltiness, the other malt flavors you're getting out there are, it's very full, but it's very kind of mild in nature, kind of thing. So for a Belgian beer, for what I'm used to, most Belgian beers are like they blow my head off. They're so outrageous, but this is a very much a milder one. I watched a thing on West Valederans 12 or whatever, however you pronounce that. That's supposed to be like really good. And then the reviews are kind of similar on that. People were finding it a bit mild. Um, for what they're expecting, a bit bready and that. And this is, I think this is maybe. I've tried that beer. Probably will, obviously never get to, but. Well, being so mild, I would be kind of curious as to what a bit of age would do to this beer. The only thing that's excessive in this is the carbonation. I don't see. There's no alcohol really to speak of. I mean, you know. This is the number 8, so this is 9.2% alcohol by volume, and I'm not getting really any alcohol out of this, so. Slight, maybe a very slight fennelness to it. Like everything's so subtle. Any of these flavors I'm talking about, you may not even pick them up. They're so. I'm hunting so hard to come up with flavor associations. Um, Getting some Belgian, maybe estery, yeasty flavors coming out of it. Very mild, mixing with the dark malts. No any like big flavors that would come across as pruniness or anything like that. Like I said, just a very slight kind of fennel behavior in the flavor. Like they're almost like just slight nuances and behaviors. They're not really like most of the time with beers and wine. I can say, oh, it tastes like licorice, or it tastes like prunes, or it tastes like chili peppers or something. This is I'm not really getting um, very mild bready type product, like maybe a slight bit of like unsweetened cake donut or pancake type flavor, but they just a very mild association, not a full out association, I would say. Well, this is either the best review I've ever done or the worst. I don't know. I'm not really telling you much here. I'm just actually the head of the beer is packing most of the flavor, where it is kind of getting some spicy notes and almost like a very light whiskey flavor out of the head. But yeah, very mild. It's maybe ungassing a little bit. You may want to pour this and just let it sit for a while. It is continuing to warm up. Like I said, it was a little bit cold when I first poured this. Yeah. It's a very enjoyable beer. I think this is an Abbey beer, so it's a lot of money. Like, let's say that goblet's worth $5, then these bottles were, you know, well, maybe not. Well, that'd be like 8 something or whatever, $8 to $9 ish, depending on what this glass is worth per beer. I mean, that's pretty expensive for for this size of bottle. I mean, it's only 330 milliliters, really. I mean, I don't go all out on these beers usually. In fact, a lot of the ones we get up here in Canada from Unibrew, I like the most out of the Belgians that I've tried, and they're extremely affordable compared to this kind of thing. That's why I like this. To me, is sort of like the La Resolution from Unibrew, except that was like $7 for like one of those big champagne corked. I think we're at 700 something milliliters or something like that. So you know what I mean? And I can't. I could see how that one would improve with age, and I don't see how this one would really. I think it would probably improve with some age, but I think it improves more by just pouring it. From what I've seen in the last 11 minutes, this is going 11 minutes, believe it or not. Just letting it sit and breathe and degas because the carbonation is a bit too excessive. Then, as it's warmed up and degassed, I think you're going to pull out more of those subtle flavors that you might appreciate a little bit more. But I think I honestly like the La Resolution just as much as this, and it was a pretty good deal in comparison. And the other day I went to the liquor store and I couldn't believe the price of some of these beers that were getting made in Canada, because I first started buying Belgian stubbies at $6 for a stubby, and I thought that was kind of outrageous for like $6 to $7 for these stubbies, and I thought, wow, that's a total ripoff. But now the prices of beer has skyrocketed. That's why this year I'm going to get more into Albury, and I want to do some barley wines and some heavy beers that would cost a lot of money, because if you're going to brew beer, you may as well brew the expensive shit, like imperial stouts and things like that. So I'm hoping to save a lot of money, and to I typically come up with ways to do stuff just that maybe other people haven't thought of, because I just don't want to let things stop me, because there's so many things with all grain brewing that are going to hold people back. Like I said, not having the grain mill. This pasta maker is $40. You can get them cheaper than that. But all the stores stopped carrying them. So if you're interested in this, if you're in Canada, I got this from Home Hardware for $38 as well. So that's probably the most affordable barley mill you're going to get, and we're going to see how that works. And before that, I just used a blender. So if you have an old blender, you go to the thrift shop, you pick up a blender for $10 or something. Just use a blender, wet it down first, and you're not going to get as high of its efficiency, so just compensate with more barley. That's what I did, and it always tasted fine. So because like the price of this, I mean, I can't afford to drink beers like this all the time, but I can make beers like this all the time. So what the hell, right? Yeah, it definitely helps a lot with it degassing. Now that's warming up, I'm getting kind of a sweeter taste in it, a much sweeter kind of a pancake syrup to kind of go along with that pancake vibe. It really is starting to improve in the past 14 minutes here. This is the longest review I've done in a long time. Probably one of the worst. Sorry, folks. So maybe swirling it would be a good idea. I usually only swirl wine, but for beer, a beer like this is definitely worth swirling. If you can just get a lot of that carbonation out, it's really getting creamy. We're learning together. I'm not a Belgian beer expert. I don't pretend to be. I don't even like a lot of Belgian beers. And I'll just get that out of the way. To be quite honest, there's a lot of them I'm just like, what the hell are people seeing this shit? But a lot of them I do like, so it just depends. I like about half the ones I try, we'll put it that way. Yeah, that's some creamy stuff. I'm going for another headshot there. Okay. Sorry, this is a very slow moving review for me. I've usually done a beer at least 6 or 7 or 8 minutes ago. Okay, that's a lot better. Really starting to open up. behaving on the tongue and the palate a little bit more like Guinness now. With the way the nitro head is, it's really starting to behave similarly, but to leave a little bit more of a subtle but yet delicious dark fruit flavor, but not like an overly crazy dark fruit flavor like the ones I hate. Very subtle, like if you took a little bit of prune juice and mixed it with cream, kind of just really mellowed out and smoothed out. Maybe a little bit of fig, more like a fig flavor actually, with that sweetness. So a little bit of flavor like that mixed with some cream just to like really mellow it out and smooth it out. So I guess it wasn't too bad of an idea to start this a bit cold. Do a 20-minute review of this beer as it warms up. I drank maybe a little bit too much of it cold. I have a whole lot of it left here. I have 4 other bottles, so this review could go all night. Oh, now the aromas are really getting great. I don't know. I don't think I could be able to do a beer quite like this yet, but you have to start somewhere, and I think that's what I'm really trying to do is just go for shit, because if you don't start, you'll never get anywhere. Like, you have to kind of to start to progress. You have to learn, you know, like, you can talk about it all day, but if you don't, you learn so much in the first 15 minutes of something. Like, yeah, that's how you drink it. Swirl it up, get that head moving, get the gas out, smooth it out. That's why they give you this nice swirling glass here. Man, this is, and actually, that's what really, like, I bought myself my Christmas presents, if you haven't known by now. Okay, this glass is really what maybe sold it on. I don't have any nice glassware, and it's really hard to find here in southern Alberta. We don't have anywhere that I have to order it online or something, because I don't see much for glassware in this very nice goblet here. It'll probably last a week. It'll get cracked. Oh, it's actually, I highly recommend buying it, but maybe try it in a single or something, just to make sure that it's something you're gonna like. But it's nothing really flashy at all. It's just very, very wholesome and well done. Apologize for the 20-minute review here, but whatever. It's lacing a bit, but it kind of like keeps, I guess I'm swirling it, right? But it seems to kind of like run down anyway for the lot. But I do like the way the lacing looks in some of these goblets and stuff. I'd say you're getting about 80% of the main bigger flavors just right in the finish. But you'd be surprised how subtle they are. But they taste like big beer flavors. They're just so much more creamy and kind of watered down in that respect. Which is actually a really good thing for me, because there's a lot of Belgians I find like they're just prune bombs, and you get a bomber, like a 650 milliliter prune bomb, for me is really hard to finish at 10%. So I drink them, and I think those ones are probably the beers I need to age a little bit more. This stuff, it'll be cool to see what it does with age, but it is so smooth. I don't even know why anybody would. If you have aged a bottle of this, let me know what the results are like, and if you recommend doing it or recommend just drinking these all within the next 6 months. I guess I could look online, but at least if you post it, then other people who watch this will also see those comments. I'm not really trying to be all that lazy when I say stuff like that. It's just maybe subconsciously thinking, maybe we're all want to learn about a certain beer together, and it's nice to have all the information and as much in one place as we can all over the place. So wow. Actually, I am glad that I got this, because as it's warming up and stuff, this is really opening up, and I am enjoying it. It is a bit rich, even though it doesn't seem that heavy flavor wise. It is kind of still rich. Like my stomach's like, what the hell, kind of thing. So next I'm gonna do for Christmas, we got the a milk stout, which stouts generally calm my stomach, right? So in these fruity Belgians usually get the boat rocking, you know what I'm saying? So what's better to calm shit down than a milk stout after we drink this creamy, milky Belgian beer? So this is Blackbridge Brewery from Swift Current, Saskatchewan, of all places, which is only about 2.5 hours away from me. It's on the #1 highway when you go through Saskatchewan, and I stopped there to get gas and stuff, but I never really like browsed around. I'm not even sure how big Swift Current really is. But I had one of these already, and it seemed okay. So if you're interested in a Saskatchewan beer, milk stout, that'll be next. Okay. Oh no, I think Saskatchewan has about 1 million people. It's about the size of 2 Japans or something. Ah. Well. As for a rate, well, it's 10.8 out of 11. I know they can get better than this, I'm sure. But that was really enjoyable. Still not exactly my favorite beer style or anything, but it was a very solid beer. I know that there is West Latrons or whatever is supposed to be even better than this. So if you get yourself a plane ticket to the Abbey and play their license plate lottery game or whatever, go for that. But this is pretty good. I still gonna drop, even though this review's on Trappistes Rochefort, I'll still drop mega props to Unibrew if you're in the area. Buy this and buy Unibrew products because I think they're both quite good. And I'll be doing. I got the Grand Reserve 12. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna age that. I got that alongside an Imperial Porter from Central City that I plan on doing pretty quick though, 9-something%. Makers of Red Racer IPA. So I'll just keep talking because this review's already 24 minutes in. You obviously don't have nothing to do. Alright. Beerzerker! Pretty good beer, and I'm feeling it off a 330 milliliter bottle, so maybe that's why they don't put it in bombers. And I'm out! Yeah!